character lacks direction. An eagle is loyal to his ideals. As William Shakespeare once said, "To thine own self be true." The blue on your badge is a reminder to be loyal. I charge you to be courageous. Courageous gives character, force, and strength.
As an Eagle Scout, the eyes of your fellow Scouts, and yes, the eyes of the world, will be upon you. The traditions of Eagle Scouts are high. May each of you live up to those traditions, always guided by the spirit of scouting. That, the symbol of your success is the Eagle Badge. The badge which I now present to your mother, and your mother will in turn pin the badge over your heart. And now, in recognition of the many hours of patience and guidance given by her towards your endeavors, will you pin the Eagle's mother's pin on the door? Also, in recognition of the wisdom and guidance given to you by your father, will you please present him the Eagle tag, which I will be proud to wear. May we have a round of applause for
America. Best wishes for much future success, and be on time for school tomorrow.
Thank you for taking the time to attend this grand ceremony. Believe me, I can't tell you how proud I am of these two young gentlemen. They truly deserve our recognition and our praise. I'm also proud of the other boys, those who helped with the ceremony, those who helped with the music, and all of the boys in the troop. I want to thank you all for participating and helping us out. And as was mentioned in the program, a lot of the people who are up here are Eagle Scouts as well. I just used the word ceremony, and I want to talk about that word for a minute. After all, a minute is all I've got. I want to ask you, why are we having this ceremony? And why are we attending this ceremony? As many have said, and have already done, we are here to honor these two fine young gentlemen. However, there are other important reasons and purposes for holding Eagle Spots of honor ceremonies. One reason we have ceremonies is to celebrate an event. And today, I am definitely celebrating this occasion. It's always a great moment for me to present the awards to the boys, to give them, I've always said that the best part in scouting is when I present them their merit badges and their rank advancements. It says to me that they've done something that they haven't done before, that they've learned something that they haven't known before. And even though this is a celebration, I'm always extremely nervous. as presenting Eagle Awards is such a prestigious event. Maybe I can start to relax a little bit now that I have my first Eagle type hat. We hold ceremonies for other reasons as well, and I'd like to talk about one right now. One thing that we do during ceremonies is we try to take an intangible idea or object and we try to make it real. For example, when we attend church and go to Mass, we are essentially trying to make God real. God is an ideal, an intangible goodness that we all strive to know. We go to Mass to embody and solidify that divine image that we have of God. We try to make something intangible real. In an Eagle part of honor, we're trying to make something else real. Something less divine and more human in nature, but still abstract. Matt and Nick, all through your scouting experiences, they've worked at building character, which is both trustworthy and capable. You have grown trustworthy in the sense that you've developed integrity with your dealings with other people, with your fellow scouts. You've become capable by the learning experiences while fulfilling the requirements you've needed to achieve the rank of Eagle. It has taken a lot of time and effort. Just as you cannot develop physical fitness overnight, you cannot develop character overnight.
Kind of nerve-wracking being up here. I didn't get nervous until about a minute ago when I heard it was time for my father's speech, and right after him. But it's really an honor to be up here. I'm like so thankful for everyone that's done everything for me. There's like so much you can say, but it's hard to put into words. Being an Eagle Scout, it's been so much work, but afterwards, after you finish anything, it's just you have that feeling of wow, that seems pretty easy. I mean, even though it could have been really hard and trying, everything seems like wow, it just finally did it. But it's been one of my greatest goals to be up here since I was joined scouting in 5th grade. Previous Eagle Scouts, Ben Reed, Nick Bernier, and Edmund Nunes really had a profound impact on me in those early years of scouting. And I looked up to them so much, and seeing them all make it to Eagle made me want to become it as well. Tim D. Moranville, John Patota, Andrew Nunes, Nick Reed, and Jay Mello, all being involved in scouting along with me, was a force that really drove me to succeed. Without them being here, I probably wouldn't have as well. None of us wanted to be the last one to make Eagle or the one that never made it. You know, we made fun of by ourselves for the rest of our lives. My parents are probably the single most important reason that I'm up here before you today. Without all of their pushing and support and help, I would never have been able to do anything. They'd always be pushing me to get my work done, to finish up those last merit badges, to finish planning my ceremony. And they've always been a humongous help for all my activities and everything in scouting. It's been a bit of tradition to thank John Patota ever since Edmund Nunes did. But I guess I'll carry on the tradition and thank him as well. I would like to thank John for 2 reasons. The first and most famous reason being John's extraordinary talent for injuring himself. I think everyone in our troop became a master of first aid as a result of John and his accidents. Whether it was getting bit by a German Shepherd while scouting for food bags, gouging his thumb with a pocket knife, or even cutting himself on that infamous yogurt bottle. John has taught us all to be prepared for anything. But I'm happy to say that John has toned down his accident-prone tendencies in recent years. I would also like to thank John for another reason. Back at that first year at Yagoo, all was well and it was a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. I was at the waterfront and diving for a rock with my friend. On my way up with the rock, one time, the ladder onto the dock happened to be directly above my head, and I crashed right into it with they nightly switch scar. The lifeguard pulled me bleeding and screaming from the water and ran me down the dock to the lifeguard hut to perform first aid and to call for help. All seemed to be going well, not from my perspective, but the lifeguard seemed to be doing a good job to stop the bleeding. Now, as many of you know, when you're applying bandages to a bloody victim, you never remove bloody bandages, you just add more on top to keep clotting more. But these lifeguards over at the dock seem to have forgotten that crucial detail and were switching bandages whenever they became a bit too bloody to handle. But thankfully for me, John was at the waterfront that afternoon and just happened to notice that the bloody child was myself and came rushing over. And John realized and reminded these lifeguards that they were not doing it correctly and reminded them to do so. Where would they be without John Patona? Next, I would like to thank Tim DeMoranville. Tim has been my best friend for as long as I can remember. We've played soccer, baseball, been in school, scouts, band, and pretty much everything else together. He's always been there as a friend, companion, a shoulder to lean on, partner in crime, and provided me with a veritable second home. Next, I would like to thank the Mothers Club for spreading every bit of information about Tim, John, Andrew, Nick, or myself to the rest of our parents faster than anyone else would think possible. That's fair. If something happened and Mrs. DeMoranville found out about it, by the time I got home, my mom was questioning me about it. It's amazing. Nothing escapes them. Next, I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Nunes, Patota, DeMoranville, and Reed for all of the love, guidance, support, discipline, shelter, rides, and food that they have given me throughout the